Hi, I'm Bart Herbison, Executive Director of the Nashville Songwriters Association. And this week for the Tennessean story behind the song, I have to tell you, I'll get myself in trouble. This is one of my favorite songs of any genre of all time.
Thank you, man.
Somewhere in My Broken Heart. I remember the first time I heard it on the radio, and I want to start by, you made a killer record on this. You had to be happy with it.
I was really happy.
Who produced it?
Tom Shapiro and Chuck Howard.
That's right, Tom. I remember.
But we cut it different than any song I've ever cut. We went back to what I call the old school way we were taught in recording, which was sit down with a guitar, and even if you got to do it 10 and 20 times, capture top to bottom a live performance first. And then build.
So you were doing the
record.
vocals with the, essentially?
Yeah, we did the demo that way. The demo was so great. Randy Travis ended up recording it, just an album version of it. And so I got my record deal. It was time to cut the song. And this was in the days where everybody was starting to, use click tracks, and it was a lot easier to just stay on tempo with the click track. And we couldn't capture it with a click track. We realized that the demo was done the old school way, and we had to do the record the old school way. So we basically caught the performance. They played to my band, the session guys played to that performance, and then I came in and basically mimicked that performance. I mean, singing. Yeah, I knew exactly where I was slowing down, because I'm going to sing it the same way pretty much every time. So that to me it's the only song of the year I've ever had. So recording it had something to do with it.
That was a brilliant way to do it, because this is an Irving Berlin type melody. This is a who's the greatest lyricist of all time kind of lyric. I've heard that song. I've got a bunch of mixtapes.
Yeah.
I got married 7 or 8 years ago, and my wife didn't know anything about country music, and I'll make her a comp about every 6 months. It's on every one of them.
Oh, man. Thanks.
It gets into me. It's a song, every time I hear it, it's like it's the first time I heard it again, and I get in the middle of the song. So you wrote it with Richard Lee.
I did.
Do you remember the day? What the idea? How recreate the story behind that song?
Okay, I was brand new artist, fresh off of Ed McMahon's Star Search. I got a writing deal at EMI where a lot of the greats were, and I was the new guy there. And Richard Lee, Hall of Fame songwriter, Grammy Award winner, had a cancellation that day. We're standing by a coffee pot. We introduced ourselves. I didn't know him. I knew what he had done. And he said, come upstairs. I want to play you a melody. Would you
never told me that. You talk about meant to be.
Oh, man. Yeah. And he
wasn't
played
even an appointment.
No. The fact that a guy like Richard Lee would write with a new, unknown, proven kid like me. And he sat down at the piano and played that melody, and man, he just started massaging it. It took us a while to write the song because the melody couldn't be altered. So that means a word had to fall pretty much on every note of that melody. And
the piano right in that pocket.
Yeah, because we didn't want to change the melody to accommodate a lyric. Not only that, it rhymes. Every other line, it rhymes internally, and it rhymes at the end. So to do all of that, you made up your mind. It was time. It was over after we had come so far. I think there's enough pieces of forgiveness somewhere in my broken heart. And it was that line that Richard Lee just stepped back and it was probably might have been my only contribution, but I think there's enough pieces of forgiveness somewhere in my broken heart, which was really something I learned from a great girlfriend that I had that basically let me go to Nashville and live my dream and never made me feel guilty about breaking up with her or anything. She wished the best for me, and that was kind of what inspired that.
I can tell when songs are very personal, and I was actually the next question going to ask you, who was she that you were thinking about?
See, I'll tell you, man, I've never.
This song, I can give you no bigger compliment.
Oh, thank you.
It's so real.
Well, I will tell you, man. Here's the thing, and I got a chance to tell this person about this. This song, if you take the character, the singer, me, reverse the role. It was I was the one that left the relationship, and it was really the kind of the way the girl said, go on and fly, go ahead and fly till you find out who you are. Those lines came from kind of what she'd said to me. She's, and so I sang it from really her point of view. I mean, in honesty and reality of where that song came from. But I could feel that pain because it was painful. Every relationship I've ever had has always been painful. Maybe that's why we could write songs about it, but in a good way.
But if you're feeling it that day, there's no filters. And, Jones and fresh off of Tammy, and He Stopped Loving Her Today. And I feel that in that song, Billy. So let's go over the moments of brilliance. First of all, Meant to Be, you don't even have that appointment that day. You don't change the melody, because I'm sure it was tempting. Right. You don't know if you're going to get another appointment with Richard, and I'm sure Richard and you both, he's saying don't change it, and you're agreeing, right?
Right, oh yeah.
And then the rhyme scheme, and then channeling that emotion in reverse. I'm shaking a hand on that, man. Now, you said it took a while, so did you finish it? You didn't finish it that day.
No. If I remember correctly, it was about 2 to 3 months. We going over to Richard's house, and Richard knew to take our time with this song because he knew it was special. I had nothing to compare it to because I had written nothing, but he kept saying, "Trust me, pal. Trust me. This is a career song. It's a career song." And then then Randy Travis recorded it, and I was so excited, to have Randy Travis record it, but it didn't come out.
Anything Randy does, but Billy Dean, it was a career song.
It was, for me, it was a career song. It actually got my record deal, and then it almost didn't come to be. Jimmy Bowen, who was the head of our record label, he was a little afraid of it because it was not what it wasn't what was on the radio at the time, and Jimmy Bowen said, maybe you ought to wait till the second album to put it on there, get established or whatever. And I went back and told Richard Lee, he goes, "Pal, you may not get a second album. You got to put it on the first." So I went back and fought for it a little bit. Of course, it was my second single and the Academy of Country Music Song of the Year, man. One of the best nights of my life.
And last question. How many people and how many stories about the lives that's touched? It's got to be daily for you.
Yeah, absolutely. There was the one in particular that a person was talking about how she let someone go, and then they came back. They've been married twice. They married once, went through a divorce. Somewhere My Broken Heart comes out. It kind of changes both of their lives. They start dating again. They marry again, and they've been together ever since, which was kind of cool.
The power of music. Shift gears a little bit. Dean Acres is the place to be. I love this. Tell the people about it, and tell us where we can find out about it, and the website, and also Absolutely. To follow what you're doing and all your records that we still want to buy. So,
well, thank you, man. Absolutely. Well, Dean Acres is my farm that I've had for 20 years. Somewhere My Broken Heart built this place. The fans built this place. And so my wife and I, after 20 years, decided, we might as well open it up to the public and let them come visit us at Dean Acres, because people come to Nashville all the time, and we're only about an hour outside of Nashville. So we took one of the old tobacco barns and converted it into a performance venue. We started in our living room, actually in the living room in our house. Man, I took all of these awards and career stuff that's been in storage for years and years. We hung it on the wall for the fans so they could see that I've kept a lot of stuff they've given me over the years, and we put it out on display. They loved it. We decided to go ahead and make it kind of a business, do 4 or 5 events a year. Our next event is April 25 and 26 of 2014. You can go to deanacres.com. We also grow, we're kind of an organic farmer. We grow oregano, thyme, and rosemary, and we've come up with our own all-purpose savory seasoning right off our farm. So some of what we're doing is not just music. We realize we have a lot of fans over the years. They've really become friends, and we decided, we ought to make more products. And rather than do an album every 18 months, and let's offer some more personal products for the fans, and let's share our farm with the people that helped us build it.
You're a man of many interests, many talents. That, the music, the great acting career, which is still going on. And I want to take this moment to personally thank you, because You don't have to do anything for any organization, all the charities, and every time I've called you, we got on a plane with the guy we thought might be the future chairman of the House Judiciary Committee to go to Austin, Texas, drive an hour and a half. I think it took us 7 hours to get there because of delays, and you played for 2 or 3 old ladies at a senior citizen center. But he appreciated it. It opened up dialogue for us, and you've helped us with moving copyrights forward. You know I love you, Billy Dean. Thank you.
And when you finally do, I think you will see it's somewhere in my broken, somewhere in my broken, somewhere in my broken heart.
No better than that. Somewhere in my broken heart, the amazing Billy Dean for the Tennessean.